There is a slogan being promoted by some of the most powerful organizations on earth: "You will own nothing, and you will be happy." That phrase did not come from a movie. It did not come from a novel. It came from the World Economic Forum, published on their official channels, promoted at their annual conference in Davos, Switzerland, where presidents, prime ministers, and the world's most powerful billionaires meet every year behind closed doors. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. Think about what that sentence means for a moment. No private property, no savings that cannot be touched, no business you built that cannot be taken, no cash in your hand that cannot be switched off. Just a system that provides what it decides you need, and you will be happy with whatever that system gives you. This is not a theory about the future. This is a published plan with a published deadline. The year 2030, 4 years from now. And right now, while UFO files dominate every news channel and governments manufacture one crisis after another, that plan is being built piece by piece, quietly, systematically, on schedule. This video is about that plan, what it is, how it works, who is building it, and why they need you distracted to finish it. Here is what Agenda 2030 actually means in practical terms. 3 systems are being built simultaneously across the entire world. The first system is digital identity. In September 2024, every single member state of the United Nations signed a document called the Global Digital Compact. Every country, every leader, all of them. That document sets a hard deadline of 2030 for universal digital identity covering every person on Earth. What does that mean for you? It means your identity will exist inside a digital system controlled by institutions you did not elect and cannot vote out. Every time you travel, spend money, access healthcare, use the internet, or prove who you are, you will go through that system. The system decides if you are allowed. The system decides if you comply. The system decides if your identity remains active. Australia already passed a law making age verification mandatory to access social media. Age verification requires identity verification. Identity verification feeds the central system. The precedent is set. The rest of the world follows. The second system is programmable money. Over 100 countries are now building central bank digital currencies. These are not like the money in your pocket or the money in your bank account. The money you have today is yours. You can spend it on anything. You can save it. You can give it away. Nobody can stop you. A programmable digital currency is completely different. It can be switched off by the government at any time. It can be restricted so you can only spend it on government-approved purchases. It can be given an expiry date, so you are forced to spend it before a deadline. It can be reduced automatically if the system decides you are not behaving correctly. Your entire financial life becomes a tool of control in the hands of whoever runs the system. The World Economic Forum has published detailed documents calling for this exact system. Combined with digital identity, it means every single transaction you ever make will be tracked, approved, and potentially blocked by a centralized authority. This is the end of financial freedom. Not metaphorically, literally. The third system is centralized health authority. In May 2025, the World Health Organization finalized its pandemic agreement, a legally binding global treaty. 194 countries signed it. It gives the WHO new authority to coordinate responses to future health emergencies across every nation on Earth. Think about what COVID showed us about how that authority gets used. 170 countries locked down together, businesses destroyed, movement restricted, children kept from school, treatments questioned or banned, all of it coordinated globally through a single institutional framework. Now that framework has a legal treaty behind it. The next time a health emergency is declared, the response will be faster, more coordinated, and legally binding on every country that signed. 3 systems: digital identity, programmable money, centralized health authority, all converging at 2030, all advancing simultaneously, all being built right now. And none of it was voted on by the people it will control. Not one person reading this video was asked whether they want their identity inside a central database. Not one person was asked whether they want their money to be programmable and switchable. Not one person was asked whether they want a private organization in Geneva to have legal authority over their country's response to a health emergency. The slogan says, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." But nobody asked if you agreed. Now, here is what they need to finish building this. They need time. Specifically, they need you not to look too closely at the people building it before 2030 arrives. That is where the distractions come in. Jeffrey Epstein was one of the most connected men in the world. Before he died in a prison cell in 2019, he gathered compromising information on presidents, prime ministers, billionaires and royals for decades. Investigators seized up to 40 terabytes of data from his properties. Epstein called himself in his own emails the Davos concierge. He used the World Economic Forum, the same organization promoting the 2030 agenda, as a networking tool. The CEO of the World Economic Forum attended private dinners at Epstein's home. He resigned after those dinners were exposed in released documents in 2026. The people whose names are in the Epstein files overlap directly with the people advancing the 2030 agenda. That is not a coincidence. That is why those files are still not fully released. The government has identified over 6 million documents. It has released 3.5 million. Millions more remain sealed, and every time the accountability story builds momentum, a distraction arrives. COVID in 2020, wars in 2022 and 2025, UFO files in May 2026. The same week the Epstein suicide note was released, the Pentagon dropped UFO files, and the President told Americans to have fun and enjoy. Congressman Thomas Massie called the UFO release the ultimate weapon of mass distraction. His exact words, in Congress. But here is what matters most. The distractions are not the story. They are the mechanism. The story is what the distractions are buying time for. The story is 2030. 4 years from now, if the 3 systems we described are complete, the world will look like this. You carry a digital identity that a central system controls. You spend a programmable currency that a central system can restrict or remove. You live under health governance that a global institution can activate without your government's independent consent. You will own nothing, and you will be happy, because the system will decide what happy means. This is not inevitable. Systems that are built can be stopped, but they cannot be stopped by people who do not know they are being built. The only thing standing between this plan and completion is an informed public with 4 years and the will to ask questions. So share this. Ask the questions, because the clock is running, and the people building this are counting on you to watch something else. That is the story behind the story. Drop yes in the comments if you believe people deserve to know this. because the algorithm will not push this. Only you can.